Welcome to Fly Nubian Queen Network, the network for melanated people like you. I am your host, Mary Dean Esquire, here at the WallStreetLawyer.com. And tonight we are talking about Snoop Dogg. Dogg. That's the rule. We drop our B1 because we always put black people first. And we drop our .com because I'm the WallStreetLawyer.com. And I ain't the only .com alive. So as we're now moving into this new world, the metaverse, right? And the internet is going to be the whole new rage. The Matrix is now here live and in your face. You know, a sister wrote the Matrix now. You know, a black woman wrote the Matrix. But yeah, so Snoop Dogg, he did it. Snoop Dogg, Dogg. We got to drop our B1 for Snoop Dogg because talk about a person who the rags to riches sort of story, and not rags to riches in the sense that, you know, of course he's a rags to riches. Most rappers are, right? They're from the hood. They grow up. The story is rough. They get a deal, and they get this money now, and they're on a whole nother level. But this is not the rags to riches we're talking about. We're talking about a rags to riches from someone, Snoop Dogg, having a deal already with Death Row Records, right? And we all know how that ended for him. You know, he had he was, you know, we know his criminal career when he was murder was the case that they gave me, the charge that they gave me, or whatever. You remember that song? Okay, I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd too. I'm a nerd. I'm a gangster nerd. So I get, you know. So excuse me for not knowing all the rap tunes, but yes, no, Snoop Dogg buys Death Row Records. And guys, we remember how he was bullied with Suge Knight. He had to leave Death Row Records, and he didn't own anything. None of his houses, his cars, none of those things. And it took him going down south to being signed with Master P for him to kind of build himself up. And for now, for where he is, you talk about a real comeback and a really good story, So I'm proud of him for that. He buys Death Row Records, the labels that launched his career. We're going to get into this. But in the meantime, if you are looking to grow your business, please check out flynubianbusiness.com. If you're looking to manage your money, please check out flynubianmoney.com. And if you're very interested to see the business that I keep promoting and talk about with on this side, blackwallstreet.com, you should check that out as well. Things we can feel so that we can rebuild Black Wall Street together by building up your businesses and who you are. So, okay, we got somebody. Greetings from Houston, Texas. I don't see your name doesn't come up on LinkedIn user. Your name is not there, but you know, I grew up in Houston, Texas. I'm licensed to practice law in Houston, Texas, and as well as New York City. So I just, you know, a country girl, good old country girl after my own heart. So thank you for joining us tonight. We got Dennis Spraggins. He's always here. So I have to show Dennis Spraggins some love. Thank you for joining me tonight as well. Make sure you guys hit the share and subscribe button because I'm not going to just talk about Snoop Dogg. I'm going to also talk about 3 pitfalls to avoid when buying an existing business. And so because I'm going to be dropping some nuggets, these are things that you may want to consider if you're thinking about buying a business. Now, mind you, you don't have to buy a big business like Snoop Dogg, buying his old record label that once signed him. He's buying this gigantuan business, but you may be buying a business as my brother-in-law bought his business for $40,000 and has been able to, because what he bought was the business relationships that business had, the business contracts that business had already existing, as well as that, which is a part and builds that business's equity. Okay. But you're also buying the business systems that are already in existence. And what is a business, ladies and gentlemen? What is a business? What is a business? You tell me. What makes a big business? Not a mom and pop shop that's doing some one-off things here or there, but what makes a business a big business? And the thing that makes a business a big business is a big brand, that is promoting that business, as well as big business systems. And these are systems for delivering, like, let's say McDonald's. I like to use the McDonald's example, but let's say you have a McDonald's business. I'm talking about a business that has the systems to deliver, because McDonald's, let's be clear, McDonald's does not make the best hamburger. McDonald's has one of the, before it's, now we have several different franchises out there, but in its day, McDonald's had the best system for delivering the same exact hamburger every single time to millions of people across the world. It is the systems that made the business that it is. So let me see. Make sure you hit the share and subscribe button. I'm doing the same thing, guys, so do that with me, because I want to make sure everybody gets this knowledge, because me going live on Fly Nubian Queen Network is a way that I can, because I got to pay for my legal services, but being here is another avenue that I can give knowledge away to the Black community for free. And so that's why I love being a Fly Nubian Queen. That's why I love the B1 philosophy, so that we can, because, you know, united we stand, divided we fall. We have to give to one another. So this is a platform that I'm able to give. So make sure you hit the share and subscribe button, so that people who are not here right now can join us right now and get this knowledge that I'm going to kick to you. And we're going to get into it in just a second. As we talk about Snoop Dogg, yes, he deserves it. He deserves it. And you know what I like about the story is the comeback story, which is the heart and the essence of the American story. It's one thing America was built on. It's the underdog rising to the top. It is the underdog pulling himself up by his bootstrap, despite the obstacles and all the things that is meant to tear you down and break you away and pull you back and hold. This the underdog. It's the grit. It's the discipline and the desire and the faith and the passion to rise up from the ashes like the beautiful phoenix. That is the story that we all truly love. And it seems like Snoop Dogg has landed the deal that is allowing him to live this moment. And I think it is a moment that we all should share with him and be proud of, because as you bless and celebrate success in others, you do what? You allow that success for yourself. You attract that success to yourself. So we're going to get into this. If you're looking to grow your business, please check out flynubianbusiness.com. If you are looking to better manage your money, please check out flynubianmoney.com. You can always find me, Mary Dean Esquire, online at thewallstreetlawyer.com. Okay, so let's get into this. Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg now officially owns Death Row Records. Okay, breaking news. Breaking news. Snoop Dogg has acquired Death Row Records from the Blackstone-controlled company MNRK Music Group. According to a press release via Business Wire, the rap legend will be leading the brand for the coming years as its new owner. Snoop originally joined Death Row in 1993, where he dropped his critically acclaimed debut album, Doggy Style. Wow, Snoop Dogg now owns the Death Row Records brand. He acquired the rights from Blackstone's MNRK Music Group today. Wow. Snoop Dogg emphasized how excited he is to have acquired such a significant brand to the culture like Death Row. I am thrilled and appreciative of the opportunity to acquire the iconic and culturally significant Death Row Records brand, which has immense untapped future value, the rap icon said. It feels good to have ownership of the label I was part of at the beginning of my career and as one of the founding members. This is coming from Snoop Dogg. Let me share my screen so that you can see this. Let's see here. Let's see here, and today is Women Crush Wednesday. I should be talking about a female, but I could not catch this breaking news. Snoop Dogg is from this gang culture, right? He used to be a well-known Crip, and now he's owner of the record label that gave him his initial start. I just think it's something to be said about that. And bringing this, let's see, news to you. Okay, getting back into this. Where was I? This is an extremely, according to Snoop Dogg, this is an extremely meaningful moment for me. I would like to personally thank the teams at Blackstone, MNRK, and especially David Gessenbaum, who worked collaboratively with me over several months to make this exciting homecoming a reality. I'm looking forward to building the next chapter of Death Row Records. Founded by Dr. Dre, Suge Knight, the DOC, and Dick Griffey in 1991, Death Row has been home to some of the greatest West Coast rappers in hip hop history. Snoop is one of those legendary artists who got his start at the label, so it's only fitting that he will now take the reins. A source close to Variety also told the publication that this transaction might usher in the beginning of the rapper and entrepreneur acquiring the music rights from the label as well. Okay, so it seems like he's only purchased the brand and not any rights to any of the music, but he's got the brand, and so that's interesting. You think about the bifurcation of the brand being owned, because that's another strategy. Sometimes you can hold when you have a holding company, you can hold all the assets in that particular you can hold all of the assets in a company in a particular holding company and have the LLC in another company. That's an interesting tactic we do sometimes as well. And so it looks like this may have been the transaction here as well, because he's acquired the rights to the brand, but not any of the rights to the music. So the music maybe have been owned by a separate company. Snoop previously discussed his desire to own Death Row Records in an interview with GQ. He explained being turned down to purchase it led to the role with Def Jam. Okay. E1 Music, which owned Death Row Music until April 21, didn't want to give me action at it. So then I asked, could I buy it? And they acted like they didn't want to sell it. Then they sold it to Blackstone Group. Mm. And the man in me was hurt. Oh, I gotta read that again. But the businessman in me said, okay, I gotta find something else to do to take this energy of mine that I'm holding on to. Wow. This makes me think, this reminds me of the saying that you can never hold a good man back. And not just that you can never hold a good man back, but you can never hold, a black man back with that soul power and desire behind it, who knows what he wants. And he was unstoppable, even though they did not want to sell it to him. That's the interesting thing. I'm gonna read that again. Snoop previously discussed his desire to own Death Row Records in an interview with GQ. He explained being turned down to purchase it led to the role with his. So he explained that being turned down to purchase Death Row Records led to a role with Def Jam. E1 Music, which owned Death Row Music until April 2021, didn't want to give him any action. So then he asked, could he buy it? And they act like they didn't want to sell it. They did not want to sell it. Then they sold it to Blackstone Group. And the man in me was hurt. Oh Lord, he was hurt. They broke Snoop Doggy Dogg's heart. They broke Snoop Doggy Dogg's heart. The man in this man, but the businessman in him said, okay, I got to find something else to do to take the energy of mine that I'm holding on to. So it sounds like at some point he said, I have to just let go and let God. It is out of my control. I'm just going to trust that everything is going to work out for me. Let me redirect this energy and attention into something else. It also, the other statement that comes to mind is being like water. Being like water. Sometimes we're so rigid and we got to do it this way. Sometimes we just got to let go and let God and be like water. Water will always get to where it needs to go, whether it has to go around the rock, under the rock, through. It's gonna carve those lines over time consistently. We always want to behave like water. Be like water. Along with his new acquisition, Snoop Dogg will also be partnering with Gala Games to release BODR on blockchain as an exclusive stash box of NFTs ahead of its drop on streaming services. When talking about blockchain and music coming together, the rapper said he believes it to be the natural evolution of the industry. Okay. If anything is constant, it's the music industry will always be changing, Snoop said. Blockchain tech has the power to change everything again and tip the table in favor of the artists and the fans. And we're going to be right at the front of the pack with this Gala music deal. The stash box of Snoop's music in NFT form will be available Wednesday on Gala Games Music Store at 7:20 p.m. EST. Kanye shared his reaction to the news by posting a screenshot of Currency's tweet that reads, Snoop acquiring Death Row is Black Future Month as fuck. Ye added the hashtag a Black Future Month, which has been a topic of discussion for the rapper. Black Future Month. Black Future Month. Not Black History Month, but Black Future Month. Snoop acquiring Death Row is Black Future Month as fuck. Okay, I'm going to have to retweet that. Black Future Month as fuck. Black Future Month as fuck. Okay, so as I promised, I said once I get into Snoop, I will get into 3 pitfalls to avoid when buying an existing business. Remember, if you're looking to grow your business, please check out flynubianbusiness.com. If you are looking to better manage your money, please check out flynubianmoney.com. You can always find me, Mary Dean Esquire, online at thewallstreetlawyer.com. Okay, so let's get into this. 3 pitfalls to avoid when buying an existing business. Whether it's your very first or your 5th company, as in this case, Snoop Dogg is buying a business that he was part of when he launched his whole Snoop Doggy brand to the world. Whether it's your very first business or your 5th company, if you're looking to start a new business venture, you have 2 options. Build your own from scratch or buy an existing one. And while many entrepreneurs dream of building their own company from the ground up, the reality is launching a brand new business and brand can be incredibly difficult. Building a business from scratch can involve years of working long hours for little to no financial reward. In fact, whether your company is ever able to generate a profit or not, starting your own business can consume your life like few other activities. And what's more, no matter how much you sacrifice, there's no guarantee the venture won't fail miserably, right? There's no guarantees in business. There's no guarantees in love, and there's no guarantees in business. And remember, folks, there's no crying in baseball. But I digress. On the other hand, buying an existing business and successfully making it your own can be somewhat less stressful. After all, you're buying an operation that has already been proven successful with an existing customer base, brand recognition, and cash flow. Might be worth the investment. That said, buying an existing business isn't without its own challenges. It will also require hard work and sacrifice. And no matter how successful the company was under its former owner, there's no guarantee you will experience the same prosperity. When buying an existing business, the difference between success and failure often comes down to your first major decision, purchasing the right company. With so much riding on your decision, here are 3 big mistakes to avoid when shopping for and purchasing an existing business. Number 1, not doing the proper research before buying. When purchasing an existing business, you need to go into the process with your eyes wide open from a place of supreme awareness. Yes, yes, yes. And you want to ensure that what you're investing in is everything that it is claimed to be. Just because a business appears to be successful on the surface doesn't mean that there aren't fatal flaws just below the waterline. One of the first things you need to learn is why the business is being sold in the first place. This seems like a very common question you would think to ask, but you have to ask yourself, if a person has built a business, they already have a cash flow, they've already built the systems, they've already done all of the hard work, why not just sit under the tree and enjoy the shade? So you want to always ask in the beginning, why are you selling this business in the first place? The owner may claim to be retiring. That's a good reason to spend more time with the family, but he or she might not know that a competing operation is open in a mega store just down the street in a few months. Might be it's that. You got to gauge not only the company's current success, but also its potential for future success and growth. To this end, you'll need to get straight answers to a few essential questions. Hope you're taking notes, guys. What assets does the business own? And remember, a brand, a trademarked brand, is an asset that the business may own. What debts or liabilities are associated with those assets? Maybe you own real estate, but that real estate is still mortgaged, which means you don't really own it. You're still paying a mortgage on it, which means it's really a liability. Is the company involved in any ongoing or pending lawsuits? Very big question. And not only do you want to ask this question, but me as the WallStreetLawyer.com, my serial investors on Wall Street hired me to do the due diligence and vet these companies that they would purchase equity in, whether it's partial equity, becoming an equity investor, or buying the entire business outright. We at the WallStreetLawGroup.com would do a thorough search on that business entity to find out whether or not the business has any pending lawsuits, whether or not their licenses are up to date, whether or not their registration with the states are up to date, whether or not all of those, whether or not they own their brand, and they have these things trademarked, whether they own their rights to the music or the movies or the books or any other intellectual property that business is in the business of selling or marketing on the market. Another question that we ask is, are there any liens against the business? Do they have any judgment liens, for instance? Have they been sued, and do they owe money to any third parties? And are there any unpaid vendors, suppliers, and or contractors? Looking at the contracts that the business has and finding out, have all those contracts been satisfied, or are there any overhead contracts that this business is liable to? And is the company's particular industry thriving, or is that industry on the way out? Is it on the decline? You don't want to buy a typewriter when typewriters are not when typewriters are typewriters, okay? Such due diligence should be done well before you begin negotiations with the seller, not a few weeks before closing. The more you know about the operation, the stronger your position will be as a buyer. When it comes to investigating the company's legal framework and liabilities, a lawyer at blackwallstreet.com can help you learn everything you need to know to have the strongest position possible. Number two, remember, if you're looking to grow your business, please check out flynubianbusiness.com. If you're looking to better manage your money, please check out flynubianmoney.com. You can always find me, Marye Dean Esquire, online at thewallstreetlawyer.com. Okay, so number two is buying a business using the wrong entity structure. Many budding entrepreneurs get so excited to own their own company that they fail to put the proper liability protections in place. For instance, if all of your contracts that you're signing when you buy the operation are in your own name as a sole proprietor, you're putting everything you own at risk, all of your personal assets. In fact, without the proper business entity in place to shield you from personal liability, you could end up losing your home, your car, and savings to the company's creditors if the venture suffers a major loss or gets hit with a lawsuit. So to prevent this, you need to have the appropriate legal structure in place before you buy the business. Business entities such as a limited liability company, also known as the LLC, and corporations often provide the best protection. So even if the company totally fails, its creditors will be legally unable to come after your personal assets. To figure out what's best for your situation, you should meet with an experienced attorney like me to help you select, put in place, and maintain. I always go over the maintenance. That's what we teach on Black Wall Street and with our lift systems, where we go over the legal, insurance, finance, and tax systems that every business needs to lift that business to the next level. It's not about just starting your business on the right foot. It's about maintaining that legal structure over time. So, and maintain the proper infrastructure for the specific operation that you are buying. And number three, not having a proper valuation of the business that you're buying. Although improperly valuing a company is technically a lack of due diligence, which it is, business valuation is such a complex and nuanced part of the purchasing process. It deserves its own category, to be honest. Indeed, every single other factor about the business can be totally perfect. But if you pay the wrong price for it, you could be setting yourself up for a disaster. You don't want to overpay. And if you underpay, you won't be able to purchase it, right? So you want to pay what it's actually worth. So you definitely want to hire maybe a third party person to evaluate that company. You want to, and if you don't hire a third party person to evaluate the company, you want to look at the company's income. You want to look at the company's 3 years most recent pay stubs. Okay, so you can evaluate, at least gauge the cash flow, and which will help you gauge future cash flow. Look at past cash flow and look at future cash flow. That's definitely one of the things we do during our financial systems. On Black Wall Street. That's a mouthful. Okay. Besides, even if the business you buy doesn't actually fail because of improper valuation, it makes zero sense to waste tens of thousands of dollars that could be used for much more valuable purposes over a simple mistake that's fairly easy to avoid. So how do you avoid it? Many times, a seller will come up with a totally unsubstantiated sales price just to test the waters. Other sellers base the price on a hidden motive: to pay off their own debts, to pay off their kids' college education, or as part of an upcoming divorce settlement. All of these factors have no bearing on the value of the business, on the true value of the business, okay? Keep in mind that the seller's initial asking price has nothing to do with the proper valuation. That's on you. We can help you figure out how the company's tax and legal liabilities fit into the valuation equation. And then we can refer you to valuation experts who know and trust to help with the other areas so that you can get a proper evaluation. Just like you get a home, you will not buy a home, you do not buy real estate without having an appraiser evaluate the value of the property of that asset that you're purchasing, so that the mortgage and the loan on that particular property is reflective of the true value of the asset. You want to do the exact same thing with the real business. That is an asset that you're purchasing, and you want to make sure that the money that is the appraisal that comes out of an evaluation is worth what you were paying for it in the end. Okay, so that's where the experts come in. Get professional support. Owning a business is a huge responsibility, no matter how you look at it. And when buying an existing operation, your first and often most critical responsibility is to make sure the company you purchase is actually worth the money, time, and energy you'll be investing. With so much on the line, you shouldn't try to do everything on your own. If you want to do things the right way, we recommend that you hire a team of experts. Why is that? Because business is a team sport. So this team of experts can help you with the purchase of the business. And as a lawyer, a corporate lawyer at blackwallstreet.com, we can assist you with all of the legal issues related to purchasing the business. And we can put you in touch with other professionals we trust to help you round out the rest of your support team. So make sure you schedule an appointment with us today at blackwallstreet.com. Okay? And there you have it. Remember, if you're looking to grow your business, please check out flynubianbusiness.com. If you're looking to better manage your money, please check out flynubianmoney.com. You can always find me, Mary Jean Esquire, online at thewallstreetlawyer.com. And as always, it's been a pleasure. Oh, and before I get out of here tonight, I'm not going to forget it tonight. I got to give a shout out to some of my friends who have joined me on this time. We got Jake Kendrick in the house, who is dropping his B1. Let's see. I'm trying to show it here. There we go. Yep, we got his B1. We got Mr. Lamar, Michael J. Lamar with his B1. We got Shauna Coley. Because I was too talkative in the zone. And so we got Mr. Dennis Ford on LinkedIn. Thank you for coming out. I definitely hope you guys stay and listen long enough to take to see these shout outs. We got Davy D. Crowther. Hello, B1 from Mississippi. M.I. Cricket letter I. Cricket letter I. Humpback I. Okay. All right now. And again, if I don't give you a shout out this time, I hope that I get you next time. But as always, every time I am with you, I am having the time of my life. Why? Because I am around my people. I am doing something to uplift my people. And the feeling, the joy that brings me alone is more than money could ever buy. So thank you for your time. Have a wonderful night.